Okay, let me start our today's episode by asking you all one simple question. Can I have my own version of God? Can you have your own version of God? No. God is what defined in the truth revealed in the holy or the Vedic scriptures, or the word given in the scriptures which are existing in this world since time immemorial. We can never create a notion in our mind as per our own comfort which we think is a politically correct idea for God. And if we do this, then such a practice is called as idolatry worship. That is, we are creating an image or idol in our mind, and that is the one we want to worship. That is our own created version of God, which is strictly not to be practiced. God is one, God is universal, and it is revealed in the holy scriptures of the world, of different religions, of different scriptures which are mentioned worldwide. We can never create God as per our own whims and fancies. Moving on. God hates hypocrisy. He doesn't want showmanship or pretense or phoniness in worship. He wants honest and real love. What has been explained in these lines? Phoniness, pretense, and showmanship. Hypocrisy is when we preach God having one idea in our mind and expressing out other. When we think something else and we put out something else, that is called as having a hypocritic attitude. Now God says, in your worship you can be imperfect, but you cannot be insincere. That is, it could happen that we can worship God in a wrong way. We may not be aware of all the rituals and what to say, what not to say, but the love which we harbor in our heart for God, it should be sincere, it should be genuine, and it should be honest, straight from heart. So our worship can be imperfect, but it cannot be insincere. We cannot just pretend to love God. It should come from deep within. Moving on. Now the second term of the day is spiritual bloom, and spiritual dryness. Now gloom, dryness, it's all indicating towards a depressing state of life, right? Gloomy weather we generally say, or dry weather. How spiritual phase of life can enter into gloom. See, whenever we feel our prayers are not getting answered, we feel disconnected from God, we feel that we are having this feeling inside us that God is not answering, God is not remembering us. We get this feeling somehow that perhaps he might have forgotten us. Whatever I'm praying these days, I'm not feeling that connection with God. Such phases of life is called as spiritual gloom. This happens not just to you and me, but to every devotee. This is the period of test of faith. He puts us in such circumstances or situations when it is a test of our faith. Are we still believing in him? Are we still keeping our faith intact, or we just trying to lose it? It just goes off. But the people who keep their faith unwavered, unhindered in such difficult situations of life, they pass or sail through the test successfully. Let me give you example. COVID-19 pandemic was a period when our faith was put to test. I would say, how can you pray to God? How can you have faith in God when your eyes are full of tears? How can you pray when your heart is so empty, seeing suffering and deaths all around you? How can you pray when your things and when your life is falling apart? It is difficult to pray in situations like this, what we faced in the year 2020 and 2021. There were questions, confusion, dilemma in our mind. If God exists, then why there is so much suffering? Why people are dying like this? Why we are losing our near and dear ones? But I would tell you, in times like this, Bible says, pray like Job. Now what he prays? Job fell to the ground in worship and said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of Lord be praised. We came empty-handed. We have to go back empty-handed. Even though whatever we did not deserve, we have got that. What more we can ask for? So instead of complaining, instead of criticizing, instead of losing our faith, it is much more significant or important for us to keep our faith intact, unwavered in times of test. He's actually taking our test. And let me tell you, in the period of pandemic, people prayed more than usual. People prayed for the well-being of their loved ones. People prayed that the world gets back on its track. People prayed that everything should come back to normalcy as soon as possible. So when you pray for people, when you pray about the healing of other people, this is nothing but you are praying to God, because God becomes happy the most when you pray for his beings. V. Raymond Edmund says, never doubt in dark what God told you in light. Dark times of life are remembered very well, but we tend to forget what God has communicated to us in the times of happiness, in times of light. I am always on your side. I have much better plans for you. I am aware of every detail of your life. Don't you worry, leave everything to me and I shall save you. We always discuss the dark times, but we tend to forget when God was there for us each and every moment when the times were light, and he communicated to us, I am there for you, I will save you, surrender everything to me and I shall save you no matter what, because I have made the plans which are best for you. You may not think it right now that the situation you are in is the one which you are supposed to be or not, but I know, because I know your past, your present and your future. You can see only your present, but I am very well aware of the 3 stages of your life. With that note, I would give the quote like I always do. Moments of life when we feel most ignored, most rejected and most abandoned by God, yet we continue to trust him in spite of all the pain, grief and sadness in our heart. It is then we worship God in the deepest way. With that, please hold your belief, keep your faith in God intact, and see then the miracles happening to you.